Hello, my name is Jurgen and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking about my experience in the 10-hour trial period of Star Wars Battlefront 2 today and what I thought of my time overall. Be split over a number of categories: gameplay, balance, weapon handling, and things that I think could be changed in those categories. So I must admit straight off the bat, a lot of people will be saying, oh, why are you talking about this game? It's just a cash grab, blah blah blah. It's, you know, Battlefront 2 I've read everywhere on YouTube, and one, you know, perhaps I shouldn't take the YouTube comments so seriously, especially on other people's videos, but at the end of the day, it's up to you if you want to buy a game and support it or not support it. And, you know, some people will make justifiable reasons why you shouldn't, and others will just insult you. Doesn't matter really, even if the game is perfect, people will insult you, and I don't think any game is perfect anyway. This system with the loot boxes and stuff is not good. I do not like it, but in terms of the game, it doesn't really change my thoughts on how the game plays. The game overall, in that 10-hour period, is quite enjoyable. I will admit I only played the multiplayer and the arcade, which is the sort of offline missions and stuff, which is okay. But the main meat of the game is in the online multiplayer component and the specifics of Starfire Assault, or specific modes, sorry, of Starfire Assault and Galactic Conquest. There were smaller modes, Strike and Blast, but those are less popular, they have less players in them, and the wait times were longer. But overall, I had a good time. I can't really take it away from that. I had fun. At the end of the day, if you have fun in the game, that's all that matters, really. And people will give you shit for it, and people will give me shit for this as well. But anyway, I'm digressing. We need to move on to the main topics. The income of the game, in terms of progressing, you get given credits for matches played, and you also get credits for completing challenges, which could be use certain abilities, get certain amount of kills, play on this certain map, play with these certain characters, etc. for a period of time. And that's fine, you get given more money now than you did in the beta. Problem is, the income is linked to how long the match goes on for. If the match is quite quick, or if you join a match right before the end, you get very little credits. Which, I mean, in that instance, if you join, like, say, 30 seconds before a game ends, which has happened in the trial period, which is annoying when you get given a match where it's about to end. I'm not sure what's up with that, but this has happened in countless DICE, EA products and other online shooters as well. Maybe that needs looking into. I'm doubtful that will change. Anyway, the income is linked to time spent in game, as I said, not how much you get on the scoreboard. So if you have a really good game, you do all the objectives, you get loads of kills, and you're first, and you see that end screen where you're that biggest portrait in the middle, doesn't matter, you get given the same amount as everyone else. That needs to change, in my opinion. You should be rewarded for doing objectives, not just for when you're playing the game by getting more battle points, which we'll talk about later, but instead the game should reward you in terms of credits, which you can then use to unlock things like weapons and characters. So, getting back to another subject, I think balance needs addressing in certain maps and certain weapons. I'm not going to really talk about weapons too much because some weapons will inevitably be better than others. This is how it is in every single shooter ever. No weapon can be perfectly balanced in terms of this has really high damage, that has really low rate of fire, or is really difficult to use. This has very low damage, so it has really high rate of fire, etc. The weapons are balanced like that per classes, so for instance the heavy has generally low damage weapons but high rate of fire weapons. The assault gets a mix, but usually medium to high damage and medium to low rate of fire, although the CR2, which is one of the unlocks, is the exception, has a very fast rate of fire but poor range. That's another factor, range of the weapons. Balance, however, in the maps, for instance Camino, where you're playing as the clones, defending Camino from a droid invasion or a separatist invasion. Generally, I don't think I had a game on Camino where the clones lost. I played the clones the most of the time, just because the game put me on that team, and most of the time we just cleared out the separatists, the CIS, pretty much after the first objective. Would often lose the first objective and then be pushed back, and then would hold the next objective and then win the game. We did get pushed all the way back to the final objective, but we still won because the way the map is designed perhaps could be addressed and maybe the droids could win. Of course it does depend on your team. If you have a set of 15, 20 really good players versus mediocre or poor players on the other team, you'll probably stomp them anyway and win, regardless of how the map is designed. But generally, Camino, as an example, the clones or the Republic generally won. Talking about heroes and battle point systems now, I didn't really play too much of the vehicles in terms of like aircraft or starships and things like AT-RTs and the AAT I didn't get a chance in. But I did play a bit of the heroes, and I did play the Enforcer and aerial units of the game, so rocket troops and a mixture of Wookiees, flame troops, the Death Troopers, which are pretty damn cool, although a tad weak without any upgrades with the star card system. And overall, they're fine. The Flame Trooper is certainly better than especially the Beta. While the Beta Flame Trooper was terrible. There was literally no point picking him, he would just be picked off instantly. Thankfully his damage over time has been improved, as well as the actual hit that the flame does, and the range has been improved as well, I believe. There could be some more tweaks to make him a little bit more powerful, but he does do well inside. And he's only on maps with, well, he's only with the First Order anyway. So there's that. So, what else can we talk about? The heroes, of course. Heroes are generally okay. I haven't got a chance to play with all of them, A, because there is a problem with the battle points, which we'll elaborate on again, and secondly, some of the heroes are just locked until you spend thousands of credits on them, and the only way you get credits is by playing the game, or sometimes you get them in boxes. Boxes, again, not going to go into that too much. I'm not going to buy any of them because it just detracts from the game. If you buy them, you're basically skipping out what the game has to offer in terms of, wow, I just got a great upgrade on my new gun. I just bought it instead of playing the game. So some people are going to buy them and they're going to have the best stuff in the game by about a month or less, probably, depends how much they spend in terms of the game's life cycle. But I've lost my train of thought. Heroes, anyway. Certain characters, very notable characters like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia or Leia Organa, and Chewie are all locked, and you have to spend money on them, to credits on them, not real money. I will state that, credits on them to unlock them. But for instance, Darth Vader takes something along the lines of 60,000 credits, which seems like a lot. Put this in context, in my 10 hours of gameplay, I would say I played, or 10 hour trial, I played probably about 9 hours of solid gameplay. I think I left it on, so let's just say 9 hours of gameplay, and I'm an average to okay, maybe somewhat good at some classes in the game player. I'm not like a godsend when it comes to FPS or third-person shooters or anything like that. I just try and have fun. That's the main thing. Regardless, I earned about 35,000 credits overall by playing matches and doing challenges. So I didn't get the minimum to unlock Darth Vader. I did get the minimum to unlock Iden Versio, who is the new protagonist of the game, but I didn't, because I kind of wanted to unlock Vader and Skywalker and all of these characters who, you know, are more notable and more loved. I mean, I haven't played the campaign yet. I can't talk about how good or bad it is or how long it is. I don't imagine it will be very huge. I've heard it's between 5 to 8 hours. So, my problem is 60,000 credits is a long time. That's, for me, 8 or 9 hours more of gameplay, 18 hours in general, overall. They could tweak that a little bit less, because they're locked in heroes and villains mode as well, so you only get to play 4 characters on each side, and the villains are much more interesting than the heroes. For instance, I played one, well, in my experience anyway, I played one game of heroes and villains and I got to play as Lando, which is not bad. Lando isn't a bad character, but he does better in the Galactic Assault game rather than a 4 versus 4 game where you've got Force users using sabers who just rush you and hit you repeatedly. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who love Lando in that game anyway, but regardless, I think they should tweak it so it should go down in terms of cost of credits to, say, from 60,000 to 40,000 would be more like it, or maybe 50,000 at a compromise. The battle point system I'll briefly talk about in terms of heroes, because this video is going on for 12 minutes and I don't want to go on forever. The heroes cost 6,000 to 8,000 credits. I'm sorry, 6,000 to 8,000 battle points in game. That differs from map to map. Yoda on Kamino will cost 6,000, where he is canon, in terms of he lived in that era where Kamino is featured in the films and stuff. Whereas Yoda on the First Order maps, where he wasn't alive in the canon, would cost 8,000. So there is that difference. The problem is, a lot of players, and myself I guess in that bracket, found it somewhat difficult to get the 6,000 to 8,000 battle points before the game, well, not ended, but before the game was about to end, or before other players got that. So again, they could tweak that down a little bit, so heroes cost between 5,000 and 6,000, say, and in the beta the heroes only cost 5,000, and that was fine, but it would be fine in terms of the battle point income now, but in the beta it wasn't fine. Anyway, that will do for now. The video will go on far too long otherwise. So, hopefully you enjoyed my rambling. Just a player who wants the game to be better, and hopefully some of these changes will take place. I have doubts that all of them will be, and maybe some of you will disagree with what I have to say, but there's that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and as always, I've been Julian, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.